Hello friends and greetings from Thingvellir, Iceland, which is a tectonic rift valley. Thingvellir means Parliament Valleys. Thing is a national assembly and Vellir valleys. That's where we are. There is a saying in Europe, all roads lead to Rome. Here in Iceland we say all roads lead to Thingvellir, because in the Middle Ages this place was the site of the first parliament in Iceland, or to be precise, a national assembly, summer national assemblies, because people were coming here every summer for several weeks, and each area of Iceland had their own summer houses. Together they comprised a national assembly. There was also a market here in the Middle Ages. Entertainment was taking place. This place served various political, social, cultural functions through the Middle Ages after Iceland had been settled. Thingvellir is one of the most remarkable geological sites in Iceland. This is because of the consequences of divergent tectonic plate movement, which can be seen here. Iceland is one of very few places on Earth where this can be seen on dry land, as most of tectonic divergence ridges run across the oceans. Although the signs of plate spreading can be seen quite widely across Iceland, Thingvellir is a particularly convenient place to examine it because of the geological conditions here. But what are the divergent tectonic plates? The Earth's crust is divided into a number of vast tectonic plates that extend over whole continents. The continent of North America is on one plate, and Europe and Asia are together on the enormous Eurasian tectonic plate. The tectonic plates meet at plate boundaries, which can be of three types. First, there are plate boundaries where two tectonic plates meet and push against each other along a collision zone called the convergent boundary. These sorts of plate boundaries are characterized by extremely big earthquakes that occur when tension between the plates is freed. Ranges of fault mountains such as Himalayas and the Andes are often found along this type of boundary. The opposite type of plate boundary is usually only found in the Earth's oceans, along what are called oceanic ridges. In the middle of Atlantic Ocean lies the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and Iceland sits on its northern part. So, the divergent plate boundary between North American plate and the Eurasian plate crosses Iceland, and the plates are moving apart by about 2 centimeters a year. This process is not visually seen, but we have GPS stations in the very east and west of Iceland which record this divergence, but here in Thingvellir it is the most visible. We are flying right close to the waterfall, which is situated on the Oxero River. Unfortunately it's frozen right here. I will come closer above it. It's no coincidence that the parliament was taking place next to the waterfalls, because the waterfalls played a symbolic role in Old Norse beliefs. The Icelandic word for president is the one who sits at the waterfalls. They were places of judgments. Forseti is Icelandic word for president, the waterfall seater. But back to the tectonic plates. The third type of plate boundary is called a transform boundary, where the tectonic plates slide past each other. This process occurs in the South Iceland seismic zone, where we have very powerful earthquakes, as you know. Transform boundary is also found in Turkey between Anatolian and Arabian plates, where we had very powerful earthquake, as you know, not so long time ago, which took the lives of thousands of people. Plate movement in Thingvellir area is thought to be only about 3-4 millimeters a year, which means that in 10,000 years the edges of the area have moved apart by about 30 to 40 meters. When the plate margins move apart in this manner, the area between them subsides and a graben forms. So the lake has flooded a great part of the side of the first battlement, because as plates are moving apart, the land in between is sinking and the lake is flooding the area more and more. The volcanic eruptions which happened on the north sides of Þingvellir Graben after the end of the Ice Age restarted the clock in that area. We know the age of the eruptions and know roughly how the area looked after the eruptions, so now we can see many thousand years of geological history right in front of us. For a long time it was believed that Thingvellir is the boundary between North American and Eurasian tectonic plates, and if you take the Golden Circle tour, which makes the first stop here, most of guides still will be telling you that this is the boundary between North American and Eurasian tectonic plates that you can see here, but it is not actually true. Geologists established the existence of so-called Icelandic microplate, which is situated between North American and Eurasian tectonic plates. So here we have actually the boundary between North American tectonic plate and Icelandic microplate. As you see, plate boundary is not a straight line, just one narrow line. It is mainly a large area, wide area of several kilometers where you have countless fissures, so it's not really true as they say that here in Thingvellir you can step with one foot in America, another in Europe, unless you have very long feet. Another thing connected to the plate boundaries at Thingvellir sometimes causes misunderstanding. Where exactly does the plate boundary lie? The plate boundary is in fact not a narrow line, rather it is a wide area. At Almannagja on the west side of Lake Þingvellir, which is the largest natural lakes in Iceland, it is possible to see the sort of edge of North American plate. The corresponding edge for the Hreppa plate is on the other side of the lake, where Hrafnagjá canyon is the main fissure. Between these two fissures is a 5-kilometer wide area which is not possible to say belongs to one plate or the other. But the picture is not even that simple, because if the land is viewed in a wider context, two large faults can be seen either side of Thingvellir area. It has been suggested that the faults on the eastern slopes of both Sulur and the western side of Löggravatsfjall form the outer edges of Þingvellir Graben, and this illustrates even better that the plate boundaries are certainly not defined lines, they are wide areas. The hill to the left side where we have line was the place where the law speaker used to stand in the Middle Ages, declaring all the laws to the crowd who congregated here in the summer. He had to memorize all the laws by heart, because in the Middle Ages, early Middle Ages, the laws were not recorded but transmitted orally. We are flying by the very edges of so-called Almannagja or Canyon of General Assembly, which marks the boundary of North American tectonic plate, the very tip of it. You can say this is the wall of geological America to your right side. And there in the valley you find the summer house of Icelandic Prime Minister, was also the national cemetery where they bury the most famous people in Iceland. So far only 2 poets had been buried there. And as I told, Thingvellir is the first stop of famous Golden Circle route. That's where all tourists come. Nearly every tourist who visits Iceland visits Thingvellir, and they are walking this route. In the old days there was a road here, but due to the tectonic divergence and fissures it had been closed, and they put a bridge walkway that you can walk through while walking down through this canyon. I hope you enjoyed this footage. I wish you all the best and greetings from Iceland.